Hi, I'm Rick Barbosa. Thanks for joining us today. When we last met, we talked about Microsoft, Logitech, and Ingram Micro's alliance. Today, we're going to be talking about the products that bring all of it together. And with me, we have Olly Henderson, who is the Microsoft Alliance Manager for Logitech, Jimmy Vaughan, who's a Partner Technical Specialist for Microsoft, and Paul Barnas, who's a Solution Sales Executive for Ingram Micro. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Olly to kick this off for us.
Thank you so much, Rick. Great to be with everyone again today. Thanks for everyone for joining us. As Rick said, last time we talked a little bit about the alliance and how we're looking to work together in order to achieve the optimal outcome for all of the end users that are adopting Teams, which seems to be a purple tidal wave at the moment, as Jimmy smiles, that the world is moving to Microsoft Teams. Obviously, our role in it as Logitech is to create those devices so that we can enable the successful rollout of the Teams platform. And I think today what we're going to discuss is there's two areas or two levels, especially in this new hybrid workplace, that Logitech play in very well. And that is the hybrid office environment. So offices are changing the way that they look. I think people are moving away from traditional office spaces with very large conference rooms. We're seeing a lot more rooms being rolled out on a smaller level, so 4, 5, 6 person rooms. But then we've also got devices that are going to help those people that are working remotely as well. And those people that are either at home or in satellite smaller offices. And what's important is inclusivity, to make sure that everyone feels as franchised as possible on these Teams meetings. So, I'm going to dive into some product, and then Jimmy's also going to help us out with the conversation on where that product might be going with a bit more of a team slant. And then Paul's going to give us a value add of why Ingram is a great partner for us to be working with. So, Jimmy, I was thinking, should we start off with the actual meeting room solutions?
I think it's great to start with the shared spaces, because that's what everybody's focusing on right now. As people have been remote for the past 12, 18 months, now people are starting to go back to the office. And I think you said it perfectly, Olly. There's a small room boom that's happening. And the smaller rooms are dictating what people actually want to put into the office. Let's be honest, those executive boardrooms, they're not going away. They're always going to be there, but it's not the majority of the rooms for an organization right now. What they're looking at doing is actually Teams enabling some of those smaller spaces and taking some of those medium-sized rooms and actually making more of the smaller rooms. And why are they doing that? Well, we talked about it the last episode that we all met. As people are looking at things and people are starting to say, hey, we're going back to the office, they're starting to know that there's always going to be that in-person meeting experience, but they've always got to think about how are we going to bring in those remote people, and how are we going to elevate and make sure that all of the citizens inside of the meeting are on an equal footing. You guys have some great offerings, I think, on the Android side that actually solve for these solutions for these smaller rooms, and make it easy for people to deploy these systems and make sure that they're number one, easy to deploy, number two, deliver the high quality audio and video that Teams is known for, and number three, make sure that the people that are remote have the same meeting experience as the people that are inside of the room. So I think it's important to understand some of the solutions that you have if you wanted to dive right into them.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting, Jimmy, you raise a point, and as we look at the 3 stages of our portfolio, we've got Rally Bar Mini, which is our smallest offering. Let's think 4 to possibly 8 people. And then we've got Rally Bar, which is comfortably doing 8 up to around a 14-person meeting room. And then on top of that, we've got Rally Plus. That's the modular system you've all come to know and love, where you have the 4K Rally camera, separate speakers, separate microphones. And that, with extra microphone pods, can go up to 42 users. Interesting part, and what the clever product team at Logitech have decided to do, is they have designed both of these platforms that we're now hearing about every day, Microsoft Teams Rooms on Android and Microsoft Teams Rooms on Windows, to come together in our product lineup. So you can have Rally Bar Mini, Rally Bar, or Rally Plus in either flavor. You can have it in Android or Windows on all 3 sizes of what we're looking to do. So what does that mean? So there's a hot debate in the market at the moment, Android versus Windows. I don't like that, and this is what everyone talks about. It's an Android or an Android and Windows conversation in my book. But the reason why this is such a hot topic at the moment is obviously due to things like the chipset shortage, which is globally setting us all back. Some of these computes, when you make them Microsoft Teams Room for Windows unit, are a little trickier to find. So it's a bit easier to find stock and availability of our Android bar products, which is the Rally Bar Mini and the Rally Bar. What we've created for the Rally Plus is, if you'd like to think of an outboard motor for Android, which is the roommate. So that is a separate unit which adds on to the Rally Plus, and that would allow you to have a full Android deployment. So from small, medium to large. If you wanted to turn that to Microsoft Teams Rooms for Windows, all we simply do is add in a compute. As you all know, Logitech are agnostic with our compute, so it could be HP, it could be Dell, it could be an Intel NUC or Lenovo. So we're giving users that freedom to express whichever compute they would like in their environment, but our hardcore components stay the same all the way through the process.
And I think that's really where Paul and his team at Ingram really come into play, is if you've got questions about how do you design your rooms, which ones do you go through? Paul, I think you could speak to Ingram's side and how you guys actually have these services that will help the customers along their journey and teams enabling all the different room sizes.
Yeah, Jimmy, you definitely hit it right on the head there. We all know the Teams room sale. It's not just a transactional hardware sale. Anybody can just go online and buy a piece of hardware. But what they don't realize is you need to get licensed. Then you need all the services that go along with the building of the room, such as network assessments, design, and then deployment of it. So Ingram Micro brings that value add. You know, we have a full line of solutions that we can actually build out for customers, all the way from the huddle room, all the way up to the large rooms. We can do site surveys for customers. We have it installed for on-site support. And then once it's installed, we actually have adoption trainings. We can show them how to actually use that system in their daily routine. And then we can help train their staff with our implementation trainings.
And I think the adoption training is huge. I think in my experience, and Paul, you shared some of the instances that we've gone through together. Customers need that adoption training. And why do they need it? Because the technology allows them to make it easier, but they have to know how to actually use it and how it fits into their team's workflow. Yes, the iconography is the same, where you walk into a room and join meeting is the same as it is on your personal device. And Olly, I know that you guys have some personal devices that fit inside the Teams portfolio too. And that's where the whole Teams ecosystem fits into one umbrella, is making sure that your personal devices flow into that larger and the shared spaces. And Paul, I can't say enough about the adoption services that you guys provide to the end customers to make sure that they understand this is one single platform that has one workflow to it.
Yeah, we definitely have some proof of concept there. You know, we have a program where we allow our customers to try these Teams room systems, and part of that program, they have to take the adoption and implementation training as part of the program. And we've been running it since June. We have over 30 actual systems installed, and we have a 0% return rate. So that is just proving that adoption and implementation is key.
I think, picking up on a couple of points there, in terms of the sum of all parts, okay? So you need a successful Teams deployment in your Microsoft environment. So in your Active Directory, how the licensing set up, any conditional access, that's one element. You need the best in class hardware, which Logitech can bring to you as well. But if you don't do those core services, such as network readiness assessment, such as making sure that there's enough bandwidth to carry the appropriate video, which Ingram can bring to us, then you're only building on quicksand. You need to have the appropriate foundations for a successful deployment. And I think, again, some of the points that Jimmy was mentioning, that fluency to walking into a small room, a medium room, and a large room, our tap controller gives you that. So however many devices you've got in the room, the tap controller is the same user interface for the user that's coming into the room. And they have that iconography, which is identical as well. Then once you've got a successful deployment of that, we can start to add in further elements such as the Logitech Scribe, which is a document camera whereby you can have a static whiteboard, any whiteboard. You can have a white wall if you wanted to write on your white wall, and then you can click, share, present on your tap, or use the purple Bluetooth enable button, and then everyone in the Teams meeting is sharing a whiteboarded meeting. Moving on slightly to our home users though, Logitech has focused long and hard on understanding that everyone needs to be inclusive and everyone needs to have the same amount of equity in these meetings. So, we really do have best-in-class products. The Brio 4K camera, wonderful, wonderful product. Most home users should have those. Then we've got our best-in-class headsets, which is the Zone Wireless and the Zone Wired over-ear, or we've got the earbuds now, which are the Zone Wired earbuds and the in-ear Zone Wireless buds. Great part about those, you can have your phone connected to them, as well as your PC or Mac connected to them. Important part about all of our products are Microsoft Teams certified. Now, we won't kill you again with that. We went through that last time of why that's important, but it is crucial to your successful rollout. And then a final product, which should be with us January of 2022, is the Logitech Dock. We're gonna insert some information, perhaps a link that we could share as we distribute, but the Logitech Dock is a wonderful product which brings all of these elements together. You plug in your camera, it has an onboard microphone, 100-watt onboard speakers, and this really is the hub from home or the hub from small office that allows you to take control of your team meetings. It's got one button to join on the top and it syncs with your calendar, so it really does bring some absolutely wonderful advantages to Teams meetings.
And I think, Rick, what we're going to do on the next episode is talk a little bit about the experiences and how you actually walk into a room and why the Teams rooms and the certified hardware. Olly, you said it perfectly. Certified hardware is your best friend when you're coming to Teams and Teams rooms. And Logitech and Ingram can deliver those certified solutions.
Definitely. And I think it's just important to note here, as we're talking about successful devices, successful deployments with Ingram, how do we look after that once everything's deployed? Where do we take it to the next level? At some point, the lovely folk at Ingram and Logitech disappear because everyone's made the transaction. But what's happening for you on day two? Between Microsoft Teams Rooms Premium and Logitech Sync, we can continue to look after and have your environment evolving all the time with latest firmware updates. We can monitor rooms, we can see when rooms are offline, we can see what we could do to get those rooms back online again. So, I think Teams Room Premium, Jimmy, is really a great tool for all organizations, regardless of any size.
Yeah, and Teams Room Premium really encompasses a lot of things. The Teams Room Premium side encompasses the Microsoft Managed Room System, which you're referring to, which actually has hooks into Logitech Sync, so the two work fluidly together to actually make sure that your room systems are, number one, up to date, number two, are error free, and number three, if there are things that are known, can actually alert the conference room manager to, hey, you should probably look into this, or this might be happening to you. Those are the kind of things that Microsoft can do and Logitech can do with their services that surround this. Again, implemented by Ingram and making sure that everything's there that you need. And again, the services, Olly, Paul, Rick, I can't stress enough. Services are a friend to all of these things, and making sure that you as a customer aren't going through pain points that other customers may have gone through. Let's make sure that we've got this in step, and we get all these customers happy outcomes.
And the beautiful thing about the services is, it was a misnomer that a couple of years ago, as Teams was fresh and Logi was relatively fresh in the space as well, I used to speak to a lot of IT directors, CTOs, especially people that are also in the integration space, saying, where's the profitability in this? With these services, you can deliver profitability. Ingram will help you deliver profitability. Logitech with Sync will help you deliver profitability, as will Microsoft with the Teams Room Premium portal.
Yeah, this has been fantastic. Your guys' enthusiasm over this, the product, the solutions, everything, it resonates here well. And we are in a time where, if we rewind the clock, we know that folks deployed to work remotely, and they use whatever devices they can get a hold of. Right now, we're in a great position to be able to roll out a true solution, and we have both the end users have the opportunity here to add the right products. You mentioned the Logitech working from home. I like to say it's work from anywhere, right? So when we talk about the certified true zone wireless earbuds, those are designed to work on Microsoft Teams. You can work anywhere with that quality of product and the solution. So, and I do look forward to the next discussion when we talk a little bit more about, the experience and the workflow and how, this really does all come together.
Yeah, I think, the purpose is a little teaser for the next session for folk. I think the purpose is that Teams has got a reason behind it. Logitech is designed for a reason, and that is because we're going to conquer real world business problems. Making people included in meetings. How do you add participants easily? How do you share documents? How is it one, ecosystem that works together? And we will show you some of the business cases, some of the pain points that organizations have, and how we can solve those between Ingram, Logitech, and Microsoft.
Well, I definitely look forward to it. And I'd like to thank all of you for your time today.
Thank you so much. Been a pleasure.